As I come before your throne of grace this afternoon, I want to acknowledge you for who you are. You are indeed a sovereign Lord. The reason why we are here today, mighty God, is only because of you. For, mighty God, it is you who gave us life. It is you whom have sustained us, mighty God. And it is you whom ultimately have selected each and every one of us as prospective justices of the peace to be here. I want to tell you thanks, mighty God, for the organizers, for the selectors, for the trainers, those who have played a part, mighty God, in our development and in our selection to take us thus far in this process. Lord, as we are here today, and as we are preparing to take the oath of office, I pray, mighty God, that you just continue to breathe upon us, you continue to move among us this afternoon. May, mighty God, this commissioning ceremony be one that is enriching, be one that is memorable. Lord, I pray for everyone that will participate this afternoon in the service. May, mighty God, our time here be well spent. And as we will, mighty God, leave in a short while from this, as justices of the peace of Clarendon, I pray, mighty God, that as we take the oath and we go from here, mighty God, that we'll all collectively give of ourselves in service to make Clarendon the best and most envied parish of all in Jamaica. In Jesus Christ, your Son's name, amen.
Rotalorum for the parish of Clarendon, the Honorable William Shagori, to do the welcome.
Thank you, Eureka. Honorable Deborah Chuck, Minister of Justice. Mr. Aldo Brown, Interim Chair for the Clarendon JPs Association. I don't say SSP Miller, he's not here. Mr. Carlton Knight, is Carlton here? Yes, sir. Mr. Robert Burke Green, President of the Layman Street Association, which will be a part of the JP Association. Prospective Justice of the Peace. First of all, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to remind you, when you, as JPs, when you're standing up for the national anthem, ladies and gentlemen, all of you the same way. You sort of have your toes out a little bit like that, and your hands like that at your side. No leaning. If you have the ladies have a bag, they can sort of hold the bag in their hands like that, or put it down. But it's the first thing that I was trained as the custos of the parish, how to respect the national anthem. So I have to train you too. Good afternoon and a warm welcome to all. Sorry I'm a little bit late, but somehow or the other, I had to go to a meeting at Milk River, at the bar, because I'm chairman at Milk River bar. And there's a lot of issues down there. And I had it in mind that it is 3 o'clock the meeting was. So I'm very sorry. I'm becoming like a politician. Not always late. You notice it? Not you. Not you. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a very good Minister of Justice here. He's probably one of the best Minister of Justice we have had for a long time. The only problem with him is killing out his custodies with work. And the JPs too. Today we celebrate the commissioning of 35 Justices of Peace. And we will enable us to increase the number of justices in the parish of Clarendon to 566. Minister, we don't believe in numbers, we believe in quality. And that is what we have here today. This is a marginal increase on the numbers of justices that we have in the parish. Because of COVID, this is the only one I had this year. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, our commissioning is what is called a hybrid event, which features in-person and face-to-face attendees, connecting virtually with other event attendees as we seek to minimize the risk of contracted COVID-19. Today's event is a semi-virtual ceremony. Now, before I even start, I do hope all of these people, you to become JPs today, have been vaccinated. Because I am telling you right now, if we don't all get vaccinated, we are going to be in serious trouble in this country. So all those persons who are not vaccinated, you have the opportunity. The government has stolen vaccine from all over the other countries to make sure that you get vaccinated. All right? So if you don't take that vaccine and you die, this customers won't be coming to your funeral. And the only person that loves people who are not anti-vaxxers are the people who bury them. So I'm just warning you, make sure you all get vaccinated. We don't want you to die before you sign or do your first court or anything like that. Get vaccinated. Your life, your family's life, your everybody's life depends on you being vaccinated. Because the country cannot afford another surge. They don't have the resources. The hospitals will be filled and overflowing. So please, I beg of you, vaccinate. Vaccinate. Let me address some housekeeping matters. Minister, I can't, everywhere I go, it's the same thing I preach. Right? So I can't do no more than what I'm doing. I'm going with the mic. I'm going on the mic. I will go through this parish and beg the people to be vaccinated. Let me address some housekeeping matters. The Ministry of Justice is in the process of revising the seal to say Justice of the Peace, Jamaica. As such, there will be no longer an ordering production of seals by parish. I think some of the parishes already have that seal. Prospective JPs, it is your responsibility to keep and care your seals. Ensure that they are locked away safely when not in use. Do not leave them in your cars. You are custodians of this legal instrument, which must be kept out of the hands of all unauthorized individuals. Let me also remind you that if you know a JP has passed, it is your duty to make sure you get that seal and carry it and give it to me or my office. It is very important. Very, very important. That said, let me remind you of some other matters that you are required to bear in mind as you seek to make your contribution to creating a society more secure, cohesive, and just. Prospective JPs, you are selected because you are all expected to be citizens who command the highest level of respect in the communities. So thereby, you must be vaccinated and go and encourage others to be vaccinated. Because it is your duty to make sure the country is safe from COVID. You are expected to perform a number of services voluntarily. Let me repeat, voluntarily. That is without charging fees, even for papers and envelopes. Most importantly, a JP's deportment must be in line with the acceptable standards of conduct. In other words, you mustn't be all over the place drinking, carousing, cursing, and doing things that people look on you and look down on you. We must work to maintain the credibility of the justice of the peace in the eyes of the public. You are supposed to be respected in your communities. So in being respected, you need to live a respected life. Although this is your commissioning ceremony, please remember that you are not fully competent in all areas. So it is important for you to remember that from time to time, you will be called on to attend reschooling exercise, that means retraining, as well as participating in additional training for modules that you are not fully covered at the general qualifying training session. The trainees when you are to become a full commissioned justice of the peace, I am aware that you have your jobs and business, but you must formulate a plan to effectively serve the community by the extension your parish. That means you can't be just going to your business every day and forget that you're a justice. You're a justice as well as a business person. So you must remember, right now, if you don't decide to serve, walk out before you are commissioned. Ladies and gentlemen, the bar is high, and we expect that this corps of newly minted justice will raise the images of the JPs in the parish at a time when a role have been expanded even more. That minister here is working us to death. And we are losing a number of JPs to various illness and death. A number of them have died from COVID, and they were not vaccinated. So that's why you see I'm on this thing about vaccine. Because we don't want no more death. Trainee JPs, you need to embrace the opportunity to broaden the role of the JP in making the communities we serve safer, and most importantly, to contribute to the development of your community and parish. Significantly, you need to make yourself known and available to the police and the community you serve. The onus is on you to ensure that you do everything within scope of your designated functions to boost our justice system. One thing I'm warning you about is anything to do with land or depoling. When somebody comes to change the name, I would advise you to call me and let me speak to somebody about it. Because depoling has caused a lot of problems, and land has caused a lot of problems. If you really don't know what you are doing, leave it alone. Tell them you're not qualified at this time to deal with it. Get help. You have an attorney there, ask him. Listen, I have very high expectations of you. You need to project the attitude of an ideal JP, as you do as part in serving the people. You see, one of the things I am asking you not to do is to, Aldo Brown. You know him well, but you don't know his children. You need to know his children before you sign any paper. Do not sign it because you know Aldo. You sign it because you know the children that belongs to Aldo. Otherwise, you can cause a lot of problems. And I've had some issues with that. So please, be careful before you put your seal and your name to anything. Be very, very careful. Our attorney here can tell you that. Right? I have very high expectations as you need to project the attitude of an ideal JP. As you do your part in serving the people. Congratulations on being commissioned. And remember, every single one of us must do our part in ensuring that Jamaica is the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business. But ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce Mr. Alabroad here. He's the new interim of the head of the Clarendon JPs Association. Mr. Alabroad, we're going to, the Lay Magistrate Association is no longer the main body in the JPs Association. It is the JPs Association, which encompasses every different factor of being a JP. Not only lay magistrate serving in the court, and you have to be trained for that. So like you go, every other part, Minister, you have different section of the JP now that you have to be trained in. Mediation and things like that. So that is where now, and the direction that we are going to go in. So remember now, when you become JPs, I have the JP pin available, and it's going to cost you $2,000 to get it. Do not get the lay magistrate pin unless you are trained for the lay magistrate court. But you are all JPs. And until you are trained for the lay magistrate court or any other system in the court, I don't want you to get any other pin but the JP Association pin. All right, let me be very clear on it. Ladies and gentlemen, I am now going to pass over to my able secretary, who has done a tremendous work. We have 3,000 packages, maybe more, to pack out for the poor, unfortunate children of the parish. And she has a lot of work to do, trust me, because she only gone 700, right? And we're almost ready. So all of you JPs is to be involved in making sure that the packages are given out to the needy children in the primary school who are going to school. If they're not going to school, they're not getting nothing, because they must go back to school. And as the former Prime Minister Edward Siaga said, we give to the needy, not the greedy. Thank you.
The applause sound a little weak. Can we get a better round of applause for the custos? Better, much better. As Custos mentioned, we do have an annual Christmas treat, and the whole emphasis behind the Christmas treat is to build a better relationship between our children and the police officers. So it is a police-led treat that is going to be supported by our community leaders, including our justices of the peace, who will go out and ensure that the packages are distributed to our needy children. So just to give you a little additional information on that. And we are targeting every primary school in Clarendon. So we'll touch everybody. All right, so that's just a little announcement on the side. We're going to push the program along a little. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I'm going to welcome Mr. Aldo Brown, JP, as you heard, interim chair of the Clarendon JP Association, and he will be followed by an item by a prospective JP and the Governor General's awardee for 2016, Ms. Sasha Gay-Bell Davis. Please make them welcome in that order.
Custos, the Honorable William Shagori, Minister of Justice, Honorable Delwar Chuck, President of the Lay Magistrate Association, Mr. Robert Bergreen, and Mr. Carlton Knight, immediate past president. JPs to be commissioned. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, greetings to you from the JP Association of Clarendon. The JP Association is a is an organization that is being chartered. It's an organization that is where the terms of reference has been established, and it is in the final stage of charter. And this is why I'm referred to as the interim chair. I just want to give you an idea or précis of the structure or the operation of the organization that you all will be a part of. The organization will be managed by a board of management chaired by the custos, and all JPs in the parish, commissioned JPs, are eligible for membership, and this is ordinary membership. You, to be commissioned, are expected to become members as soon as it is possible. The conditions for membership are simple. Every ordinary member shall pay to the association an annual membership subscription, which will become due at the first day of each financial year. Only members in good standing. That means you're paid up, you've conformed to all the regulations of the organization. Only those members will be accorded nomination and voting privileges and can hold office in the association. Full details of the organization or the association will be forwarded to you through the office of the custos. I'm just giving you now an idea. That's a précis of what will happen. So it is my duty today to welcome you to this fraternity of justice of the peace, and expect that you will continue to demonstrate that good character and quality that was unearthed in the investigations into your background to serve as JP. And basically what I mean is that an investigation was done into your background, your community members were spoken to, and what came out is that you're a person of high quality, right? And so therefore you were chosen. So I'm going to say today that I hope you will uphold those principles and dignity that while serving in this fraternity and your country in general. I wish you well in your new role as JPs and wish you a safe travel to your various destinations. And Custos, you said 2 minutes. Is that okay? I made 2 minutes. Thank you.
And dog foot I'm on that me son. No cause me fi get out rude. Me step up to the boy, me slides, and smile, quite cool and tame. The boy steer straight in my face and say, "Lady, give me your name." Me say, "After me not got it, you must got it on your track. Can you be taking a century and never give me back?" Hear the whole boy. "Woman, don't show your lack of education. The law demands that you give me your name and occupation." See ma, me temper boil up, and a holler, boy clear out. And I never make fun to give me full length of my mouth. I say, me name Sierra Bonja, his me say ginger beer, his me the dear mama, the first spear power boot she wear. And when her time to take her and she never know what to do, his me Sierra Bonja she find me out too. Here me Kinty police boy who used to keep duty downtown come in. But when him see me, him take time cool me down. Me go back on the voting screen. But the way me did feel vex, me did span the pencil and I got some good ups. And mark one devil X. So me don't know who me vote for. But the X so big and nice that any man will get in, he's him me X the choice. choice by Louise Bennett.
That I know everybody's is waiting for. We're at the swearing in and affirmation section. So I'm going to call your names and I'm going to ask you to come up in clusters, in batches, and then we'll have the persons who are going to be swearing in first. So get ready. I'm going to move the mic to the side a little so that we can occur. I'm going to also invite the minister. Sorry. I'm going to also invite the minister and the Honorable Custos to issue the certificates of completion as well as your commissions and your seals. So, are we ready? Of the peace? Yes. Of course, you're going to serve the persons in your communities right here in Clarendon. So the first person that we'll be having is Miss Reverend, in fact, Milton Bailey. Go a little, pull up your mask and go a little closer and put your hand on her Bible. Yes. All right, so you're going to repeat after Custos.
Here you go.
Here, right here. You're asking you to come a little closer. Swear it.
These are all swearing, right? Where's the Bible? Bible is right.
Oh, yes, Reverend to the rescue. Thank you, Reverend Peku.
When I say I'm going to say my name, you say your name. Don't use my name. I do swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Jamaica, that I will uphold and defend the Constitution and the laws of Jamaica, and that I will conscientiously and impartially discharge my responsibilities to the people of Jamaica. So help me God. The oath of office. Same thing again. I, Redemption Boy, I do swear that I will well and truly serve the people of Jamaica in the office of Justice of the Peace for the parish of Clarendon, and I will do right to all manner of people after the laws and usages of Jamaica, without fear or favor, affection or ill will. So help me God.
Frederick, Knoxville. That's Mr. George Clue.
Miss Andrea Cook.
Mr. Glenroy Fagan, and you know you can give them a little tap, not a lot, but you can congratulate them on it too. That would be nice. Marjorie Henry, and she's our restorative justice officer as well. Sophia Laidlaw. Alfred Morgan. No, this is all the swearing in. Okay. 17. Oh, somebody is absent. Here.
You cross over that thing. Right, good. I remember now you're going to call your name in loud. I want to hear it. I do swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Jamaica, that I will uphold and defend the Constitution and the laws of Jamaica, and that I will conscientiously and impartially discharge my responsibility to the people of Jamaica. So help me God. You know, the oath of office. Remember now, you must, when I say I, you put your name. I do swear that I will well and truly serve the people of Jamaica in the office of Justice of the Peace for the parish of Clarendon, and I will do right to all manner of people after the laws and usages of Jamaica, without fear or favor, affection or ill will. So help me God. Stop.
Come forward. And Mrs. Chanel Page, I must say she's a part of our very own PDC team. Isaac Scott. Everybody must know Mr. Scott, the pest control man. A picture? Okay. Marshall Spencer. And that's Miss Aldi Stewart. She's the Governor General Awardee for 2020. Ronaldo Thomas. Mr. Clevon Williams. And just to let you know that persons are online are sending their congratulations. So just enjoy the moment.
Do solemnly and truly declare and affirm that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Jamaica. And I will uphold and defend the Constitution and the laws of Jamaica. And I will conscientiously and partially discharge my responsibility to the people of Jamaica. Again. Affirm it again. Hands up. And remember, I want to hear the name. I do solemnly and truly declare and affirm that I will well and truly serve the people of Jamaica in the office of Justice of the Peace for the island of Jamaica. I will do right to all manner of people after the law and usages of Jamaica, without fear or favor, affection or ill will. Thank you.
Miss Carmen Dillon. Rose Anne Marie Edwards Lindsay. Leroy Ferron. Liebert Gabidon. Patricia Garib, and she's also a member of the Parish Development Committee. Esther Higgins. Stacy Han Leila Knowles. Yes, Costa says that we have a special person here that I cannot pronounce his name, but I know we call him Steve Leho. Come forward, Steve. You'll have to pronounce your first name for me. He laughs. Sasha Gay Lota, April Marshon, George Nelson, Reverend Winston Peku, Jasmine Pike, Bernard Spence. Bernard isn't here? Spence? Yes. Bernard Spence? All right. Okay, so we're good to go. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, we have everybody in line. It's okay, I'll double check.
So when I say I, just say your name. I do solemnly and truly declare and affirm that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Jamaica, that I will uphold and defend the Constitution and the laws of Jamaica, and I will conscientiously and impartially discharge my responsibilities. To the people of Jamaica. Again, you pronounce your name when I say I. Loud so I can hear it. I do solemnly and truly declare and affirm that I will well and truly serve the people of Jamaica in the office of Justice of the Peace for Jamaica, and I will do right to all manner of people after the laws and usages of Jamaica, without fear or favor, affection, or ill will. Thank you.
Give Steve a round of applause. That's Miss Sasha Gay Lota. April Marshall. Jasmine Pike. Winston Peku. Bernard Spence. Juliet Walters Allen. Gareth Warren. Get it? And Mrs. Marlene White Ansel. So while Mrs. White Ansel takes her seat, I want you all to give yourselves a round of applause. Well done. Congrats. Remember that this is just the beginning.
Continue speaking. Continue.
Remember that this is just the beginning and you will have a lot of work to do once you get home. Probably persons will be knocking at your gate because you're online. So get ready. The other thing that I want you to remember, a lot of persons do not know their seal numbers. Try and memorize your seal numbers. It is very important. And of course, Custos would have told you that you must keep your seal safe. Do not leave it in your cars. Try and make sure that you keep it safe. It's like money. That's how valuable it is. We don't like to get reports that seals have been stolen. It's not a good look. And if you're going abroad, please take it to us. We'll safeguard it for you. All right? So, that said, another big round of applause for everybody. Congratulations, well done. And please remember, this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. You're expected to do continuous training. It's a lifelong learning process. So, with that said, I'm going to invite Ms. Carmen Dillon to introduce our keynote speaker. And Ms. Dillon is the chair of the Frankfield Development Area Committee and a member of the Parish Development Committee. So please make Ms. Dillon feel welcome.
A pleasant evening, everyone. To our able chairman, Ms. Eureka Douglas, our custos, Honorable William Shaguri, our worthy keynote speaker, Mr. Delroy Chuck, all other dignitaries, which include all of you. Good evening. I will be introducing our main speaker, the Honorable Mr. Delroy Chuck. He is the Minister of Justice. The Honorable Delroy Chuck was first elected in 1997 at the age of only 47 as a Member of Parliament to represent the constituency of Northeast St. Andrew. In 2011, when the Jamaica Labour Party won the general elections, he enjoyed a short stint in office as the Minister of Justice. In February 2016, Mr. Chuck was once again assigned to the portfolio with the mammoth responsibility of providing a law-abiding society with an accessible, efficient, and fair system of justice for all. Minister Chuck brings a bright and pragmatic energy to the Ministry of Justice, and his main focus is to ensure that cases are expedited within a timely manner from the present 5 years and more to less than.
Thank you very much, Ms. Carmen Dillon. Master of Ceremony, Ms. Eureka Douglas. The Custos Rotolorum of the parish, my good friend Billy Shaguri. Mr. Alda Brown, the interim chairman of the Parish Association. Also respect due to the president of the Lay Magistrate Association, Mr. Robert Green, and past president, Mr. Carlton Knight. Newly minted justices of the peace, members of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Let me say how happy I am to be here in Clarendon for another commissioning ceremony. You may not know, but some of you do, that I am a product of this parish. I grew up in the hills of Riches. Many of you may not know it, but it's way at northwest Clarendon, close to Spaldings. So I'm from that area. I grew up, and I know most of up there, right across the Frankfield, various areas, because I used to shoot birds, slingshots, and follow my grandmother to various marketplaces, riding in the hamper or the back of the donkey as she went around getting provisions where she would take to usually Spanish Town market. Let me first of all congratulate all of you who have offered yourself to become justices of the peace in the parish of Clarendon. Let me indicate that even though you are attached to Clarendon, in the 2018 Act, I thought it necessary to make your authority extend beyond Clarendon to the island of Jamaica, so that all justices of the peace, even though they're attached to a parish, and you pay respect, or you're under the authority of the custos of the parish, but your authority extend to all of Jamaica, save and except if you're serving in the lay magistrate's courts, you only serve in the parish to which you're attached, in this case, Clarendon. So that you will find that previous justice of the peace have a seal that says JP of Clarendon. That doesn't stop meaning that the seal is out of date. It will in due course will be replaced, but you have got the new seal that says Justice of the Peace of Jamaica. Please, Justice of the Peace, you have had many hours of training. The fact that you have now completed the training means that what you learned during the training, you must carry out. And the most important thing that you would have learned in the training is to exercise your judgment, conduct yourself, do whatever you do in your life with integrity. There's no alternative to being a person of integrity. And I would say, go further and say, from here on, make sure you possess a character that is unimpeachable. Your character must be unblemished. It means that you must carry yourself not only in thoughts, words, and deeds in such a moral strong point that no one could point a finger at you to say, look at that dishonest man. Look at that man, all him do a thief. And look at him, say him a JP. Because, let us be very frank, if you engage in any dishonesty, in any blemish on your character, it won't be long before people find you out. In truth, if you're a thief, people know. And it doesn't take long for them to know. If you're dishonest, people know. You must be able, when you give your word, that people know you keep your word. Your character must be such that for the rest of your life, people can say, there goes a man I can trust. There goes a woman I can believe in. I must tell you, the issue of character is something which is lacking in far too many Jamaicans. Because if every Jamaican had that single characteristics of character, Jamaica would be the best place on earth. But we have far too many people who believe that they can hide and do things and believe that they won't be caught or exposed. But the Almighty God is watching you. But apart from that, be your conscience. Let your conscience guide you. And so, Justice of the Peace, I urge you, live a life that not only others can be proud of, but when you go to your bed at night, when you retire and you're rocking in your rocking chair, you can say, I have nothing to worry about. I don't have to look behind me. I don't have to fear anything. My hands, my pockets are clean. Because, Justice of the Peace, if you engage in anything that brings this vocation into disrepute, then we are going to do everything to decommission you. So I'm begging and urging you, make sure you live the quality of life that no one can point finger at you. And if they point finger at you, then they're pointing back four at themselves. Okay? So, having urged you to remember what you learned or what you were taught, how you must discharge your duties as a justice of the peace. Now that you have been commissioned, I don't expect that you will just revert back into your business or into your veranda or into a cocoon. Now is the time we are expecting that you will be proactive and participate in the community. Now is the time we are expecting you to really reach out to others less fortunate. Reach out to the weak and vulnerable within your communities and see to what extent you can help them. Not necessarily with material things, but sometimes to guide them, sometimes to encourage them. Because what we need more than anything else in this country is for some good people. More good people. We have enough bad people. People who want to destroy one another. People who want to destroy you, destroy the society. We don't need any more of those. We need you who have been selected as justice of the peace. And we selected you because we believe that you're upright, that you're decent, that you exhibit the quality that we want for residents of this parish, for persons within your community. And you must be the exemplar of what others must say. I wish I was like him or her. Justice of the peace, Jamaica has many problems. And I will be calling on you, all justice of the peace across Jamaica, to reach out and see in what small way you can assist in resolving some of these problems. One of the problems highlighted by the Costas is the need for people to get vaccinated. It is a problem. Because if 70-80% of the Jamaican population could get vaccinated, COVID-19 would disappear. I'll come back to that in a moment. But let me emphasize, you as Justice of the Peace must now become a solution-oriented. You must not contribute to the increasing problems that Jamaica faces. You as a problem solver must try to reduce and eliminate the many challenges and problems that communities, parishes, and Jamaica face. In truth, when you go home at night or when you have time, reflect. Imagine what your neighborhood, your parish, what Jamaica could become. We all have an imagination, and it would be useful for us to utilize it, to see what your community, what Jamaica could become. You know, a great philosopher once said, some people see things as they are and say, why? I see things as they never were and say, why not? So I ask you, Justice of the Peace, in your own way, sometimes visualize what your life, your community, what Jamaica could be like. Prosperous, decent, peaceful, loving, kind and gentle place. And ask yourself, why not? How could I contribute in a small way to Jamaica being a kinder, gentler, more peaceful, loving place? Because if we do, it is beneficial to us. If we can encourage others to be kind and peaceful, then believe me, it helps you too to be kind and peaceful. And you may not be able to do it all alone. And that is why Custis has intimated and Mr. Brown has indicated that we want a parish association in every custos. All the custodies have been urged to put a parish association, because this parish association is intended to pull all the justice of the peace in the parish together, so that in small groups, large groups, individually, you all can come together on a regular basis, on a veranda, in a church hall. Some might say a bar, but not yet, please. Meet at the corner and sit and discuss some of the problems of Jamaica. Discuss how you can emerge as a useful, good leader within your community and give assistance and direction to how your community can develop and strive. Justice of the peace, you have in your hands now the authority. You have in your hands the information. You have in your hands the ability to make a difference across Jamaica. And you can if you really want to. I will give you some ideas of how you can. But before I do, I urge you that the Parish Association, please play your part. It will incorporate all justice of the peace. The Lay Magistrate Association was very active in the parish, and they were looking after persons serving in the courts, and they will also be encouraging most of you who have the time to serve in the courts. And I hope together, when you meet in the chapter of the Lay Magistrate, which is a part of the Parish Association, you can find ways and means to improve your service in the courts. We are going to be pushing mediation, restorative justice, child diversion, victim services, and all of these are areas in which you can serve. You don't appreciate how many persons are being abused, and many of them are looking to someone to talk to. The Victim Services Division of the Ministry of Justice would like more volunteers to be able to become counselors who can listen, because most times persons who are abused, domestic abuse especially, just want somebody to talk to. And those of you who have the time and are prepared to just give a helping advice, you would be amazed how many frustration you can heal, how you can assist persons who have been abused. And as I say that justice of the peace, I beg of you, ensure that this parish, that domestic abuse, whether of a man or woman, usually women, or child abuse, that we eliminate it as much as possible. In your communities, if you know or hear of any type of abuse, I urge you, do your part to eliminate it. And then we have children oftentimes being very indisciplined, sometimes because of poor parenthood. And we now are training persons as mentors in child diversion to keep most of these children from the formal hearing in a court, or even if it happens that they are referred to child diversion mentors. So we need mentors to be trained. The Ministry of Justice have mentors. We have restorative justice. Miss Henry, she is at the Restorative Justice Center here in Maypen. We're going to be opening a facility up in Bunkers Hill. Boy, if you ever try and drive Bunkers Hill, you need a helicopter to get up there, or a tractor. I drove up there a couple of weeks ago, and I think it's better to use a truck to get up to Bunkers Hill rather than a vehicle. But Bunkers Hill, very nice community. And we're going to really have a restorative justice center up there, because we want to be able to sensitize communities across Clarendon in restorative justice. I've been speaking with MP Pernell Charles. We want maybe one in Lionel Town or Rocky Point across Jamaica. Because restorative justice is justice that heals. And I urge all of you to get some sensitization in restorative justice. The same with mediation, which I come to in a moment. But with restorative justice, it is an alternative to retributive justice. What is most important? With restorative justice, where there's a victim and an offender, if they go to court, or if they don't repair the relationship, then each try to take retribution on one another. So many of the offenses across Jamaica are reprisal. Sometimes it starts out with a simple verbal abuse. And that verbal abuse starts out with throwing stone at one another. And before you know it, they start shooting one another. And then hundreds die because people have not learned to resolve their simple conflicts. And I say justice of the peace. We must now urge persons who are in dispute, in conflict, in disagreement. There must be an alternative way to settle them. It cannot be that you go hire a gunman, which is what happens far too often in Jamaica. And there are gunmen willing to be paid. Sometimes as little as 5,000 a year to go carry out the action of wicked individuals who are just in disagreement with someone else, but they feel the best way to settle it is to get a paid gunman to resolve the dispute. And it does not resolve the problem. When people use abuses, use brute force or violence to settle argument, it doesn't settle anything. What it does is to create a cycle of reprisal, following reprisal. A cycle of violence is the result. And ladies and gentlemen, justice of the peace, we are seeing this across Jamaica. If you ask me, the vast majority, if not all, shootings, killings are because people can't settle their arguments. And they feel the best way to do it is to use violence to give a one last lick. Now that is a schoolboy thing. When you're in school, you have to playfully talk about last lick. But no, adults, the last lick is violence. And it is wrong. So I'm asking many of you to try and get trained in restorative justice. Because if you know the principles of restorative justice, you will try to get persons who are in disagreement, who are in conflict, to really resolve their disagreements and restore their relationship. Because that is the essence of restorative justice. We shortly will be pushing very hard mediation. Because here again, far too many matters go to the courts. When you go to the courts, you see hundreds of people. The court can't deal with it. Litigation seems to be the order of the day. And many of these that go to the courts are simple matters of boundary. That if the people really sit down together, they can sort it out. Simple matter that the dog come across the yard too often and bite somebody. Simple matter that really and truly should be dealt with by parties just getting together and mediating rather than litigating. Now when I speak to the Chief Justice, he says, matters come to court. You say to the parties, because the parish court judges tell me, they're simple little matters, you know. Go to the mediator. And what the parties say, we can't afford it. You know, the mediators are charging like $2,500 each. But the truth is that the Chief Justice said to me, many of these people who fighting can't even afford bus fare to come court. But them fighting. And so, we, in all sincerity, we must help them to resolve the dispute. And the Ministry of Justice will be making contribution to the mediators. So when the parish court judge say, go to mediation, if they can't afford it via a means test, then we will, the Ministry of Justice, will make a contribution. It's a pilot project. We have started in December, and we will see how it works, because we want to take the burden, the backlog in the courts, reduce it significantly over the next few months, so that the real complex issues, the real legal issues, can be dealt with by the parish court. So, restorative justice and mediation justice of the peace. These are two areas that you can participate. And if you, quite frankly, if you're a trained mediator or trained restorative justice, the Ministry of Justice may even pay your stipend to participate. But outside of that, you must not collect any money as a justice of the peace. If you collect money as a mediator, you're doing so as a mediator. If you collect money as a restorative justice facilitator, you're doing so as a facilitator, not as a JP. JP is voluntary service. Whether you serve in the community, making recommendation, or serving in the lay magistrate's court. So please, we don't want to hear that any one of you are charging for JP service. And if you are a trained mediator, you let it be known very clear that you're charging as a mediator. And in fact, you won't get paid unless you're a certified mediator anyway. So you need to get certified. And the Ministry of Justice will be assisting JPs who want to be trained as mediator to pay for their training. We have been doing so for the last 4 years. The Dispute Resolution Foundation do the training. But I want to take off from where Custos Shaguri spoke about COVID. Because the truth of the matter, we have problems, crime, corruption, indiscipline, disorder. But the real challenge to every corner of Jamaica now is COVID-19. Any one of you who know anyone who has got COVID-19, they will tell you it is the most, I mean not everyone, but those who have been hospitalized, they tell me when they breathe and they have oxygen and they have to, it feels as if they have 10 blocks on their chest because they are panting for breath. So it is not in the interest of anyone to get COVID. And the surest way to avoid COVID is vaccination. I do not doubt that there are other ways. You can stay at your yard and don't interact with anyone. You won't get COVID if you just stay home and don't nobody keep close to you. You can also avoid COVID if you keep your mask on and make sure you don't breathe in any of the virus. All of these are important. But vaccination has been proven to be very effective. But I want to tell you that the majority of Jamaicans have been deceived, have been brainwashed, have been misinformed that something is tainted, wrong about vaccination. It started out with the vaccination of chip. I don't know who would want to know where you are. That vaccination changed your DNA. That vaccination make you infertile. That vaccination can make you sick and reduce your lifespan. All of these are been caused by people who have been brainwashed. With due respect to the religious persons here, they're religious people who say that COVID-19 is God sent. And it's God coming back for, to take over. So we must resist it. We must just allow it to spread, and because the world is coming to an end soon. And that is what COVID-19 is about. With due respect, that was what was said. Every pandemic over the centuries, religious people were saying that. That is God sent it. My God is a good God. My God don't do that. So those who spread that false rumor, they're wrong. What I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, you have to be ambassadors now for vaccination. Those of you who have not been vaccinated, please rethink. Get vaccinated. Because why do I insist and urge you to get vaccinated? If you're vaccinated, yes, you can get the virus. But the virus, if you get it, within a matter of a couple of days, the body fights back. It has a defensive system. So even if you're hospitalized, within less than a few days, the virus is destroyed. Because when you are vaccinated, the immune system is activated for that particular virus. What is this vaccine? The vaccine is basically, you see the virus, it has some spikes. These spikes are protein spikes. These protein spikes are what give the virus the energy to mutate and multiply. And once it gets into the body, if it stays in the body for any period of time, it is going to multiply and take over the body as much as possible. But if you're vaccinated, it doesn't have that opportunity because the vaccine is basically protein. It is a type of protein similar to what is on the vaccine, on the virus. So if you're immune, or if you've been vaccinated against, put the vaccine against this type of protein module, when the virus comes, the body recognizes it and gets rid of it. And that is why when you get the vaccine, those of you who have got the vaccine, the health authorities tells you you're not protected until 2 weeks, because it takes about 2 weeks for the body to develop that immune system. If you're not vaccinated, you could develop the immune system, because the body recognizes it and will fight back, just as when you get the vaccine, it recognizes that there's some external enemy and it fights back with the immune system. But when you're not vaccinated, in that 2 weeks that the body is trying to fight back, that virus is multiplying and is mutating. And the vast majority of people who have been, not the vast majority, 99% of the people who have been hospitalized are those who are unvaccinated. Because after 3-4 days, the virus multiplies many times in the body and start to mutate. That is why you have Omicron now. Because it has the virus, as it multiplies and mutates, it develops additional pustules. And what we are saying, just of the peace, in that 2 weeks, as many people, by the way, recover, don't get me wrong, if you're not vaccinated, but it takes at least 2 weeks to recover. And during that 2 weeks, the body could suffer the ill effects of the virus. And that is why over 5 million persons have been hospitalized across the world. In Jamaica, 90,000 have got the virus. More than 10,000 have been hospitalized. And of the 10,000 who have been hospitalized, 900, at least 9,900 were unvaccinated. Less than 100 were actually vaccinated. No one has died from the vaccine. People who have been vaccinated have died, but it's not from the vaccine. Across the world, 8.2 billion people have been vaccinated. 8.2 billion doses have been administered. So anywhere between 4 to 5 billion persons have been vaccinated. Are they dummies? Why is it they take the vaccination? The vast majority of them took it voluntarily. Not many were coerced. No one has demonstrated of these 4 to 5 billion people across the world who have taken the vaccine that any one of them have ever suffered fatal. There have been allegations that some vaccination caused clotting and the clotting caused the death. But various evidence have shown that the clotting would have occurred anyway, because these are elderly people. And I'm going to ask you, Justice of the Peace, we have now decided in Jamaica that all persons over 60, myself, who have got 2 doses of the AstraZeneca, that they will get a 3rd dose of Pfizer, because we have enough Pfizer to give anyone who wants a Pfizer vaccination now. Ladies and gentlemen, and I want you, as I say, to be ambassadors. We talk about problem solving. If there's one problem we have a challenge to solve in Jamaica, is how to get more Jamaicans vaccinated. Because unless we can get 60, 70% of the population vaccinated, we are going to be living with this virus for a long time. Because the unvaccinated, the pandemic is really a pandemic of the unvaccinated. The unvaccinated are the ones who will spread it. People say the vaccinated can spread it. That is true. But the truth of the matter is that if the vaccinated gets the virus, within 2 to 3 days, it is destroyed. And if we can get 60% or more of the population vaccinated, then there's no doubt that before long, COVID-19 will retreat into eternity. But the problem is, social media, fanatics, people who want to brainwash, are out there misinforming and deceiving people. And that is what will probably cause COVID-19 to continue for some time. And we must fight back. The intelligent people in our society who have avoided the brainwashing must go out and spread the information that vaccination works. Beneficial. And eventually can help the society to recover. So, Justice of the Peace, I know most of you have been vaccinated, but you know many people who have not been vaccinated. Across the world, over 60, probably over 75% of persons have been vaccinated, because 4 to 5 billion of just over 7 billion people have been vaccinated. Why in Jamaica? Less than 20% have been vaccinated. Less than 20% of our people have been fully vaccinated. You see the challenge? Because if the children, we are going to open up the schools. But if more people don't get vaccinated, many of these children who need our help and support may well get the virus, and sadly, a few will die. Because we have far too many selfish people who feel that they can fight the virus on their own. So, Justice of the Peace, I end on a sad note, sadly, because I don't want to bring this challenge of the vaccination to you. But Custis brought it up. We preach it every day. It is so vital that we really buy into it, that this vaccination, be reminded of. When we were younger, we get the measles shot. How many people here get measles now? Many people get the polio shot. How many people here get polio? Smallpox. All of these are things of the past. They became things of the past because of vaccination. And we want COVID-19 to be something of the past, but it will come quicker if we can just buy into the vaccination. And we have enough vaccines now. We have another 300,000 about to expire at the end of January. How are we going to get these trillion? That is the AstraZeneca. We have a couple 100,000 doses of Pfizer. We have 200,000 doses of Sinopharm. We have J&J, and we're getting Moderna. So there's no shortage of vaccine now. And as you can see, there are different brands of vaccine. You can choose which one. But let me remind you, the best vaccine is the one available. The one you can get, okay? So Justice of the Peace, as you go out into your community, I want to ask you, please, you have the energy, you have the experience, please go out and be a shining light. Be a light, let people in your community see you as someone who's leading the way. Let them see you as persons who bring so much goodwill, so much trust to the community, so much help and support, that they will see you as a leader within your neighborhood. So I beg you, let your light so shine that others may see your good work and glorify our Father who is in heaven. God bless you all.
And sign and attest. You're not just there for that. You have several options. You can become a restorative justice officer. You can assist the child diversion, victim support. You can help with mediation. You can, of course, give your service to your community youth clubs, and we can go on and on. Remember to serve. You just gave your oath to serve the people of this parish and Jamaica. So I'm just going to ask you to bear with us as we have one special person that we need to swear in, Mr. Dennis Golding. So just bear with us as we swear in Mr. Dennis Golding. Come forward, Mr. Golding.
Be faithful and bear true allegiance. Bear true allegiance to Jamaica, that I will uphold and defend the Constitution and laws of Jamaica, and that I will conscientiously and impartially discharge my responsibilities to the people of Jamaica. The oath of office. I, your name, do swear that I will well and truly serve the people of Jamaica in the office of Justice of the Peace for the parish of Clarendon, after the laws and usages of Jamaica, without fear or favor, affection or ill will, so help me God. Okay. Come here.
He served the correction system for a number of years, and he's from way up there in Rock River. So he'll be serving the people in Rock River. All right, so we're moving on to the response, the reply on behalf of you, the new Justices of the Peace. Come forward, Ms. Stewart.
Honorable William Shaguri, Mr. Orlando Brown, Interim Chairman of the Clarendon Justice of the Peace Association, President and past President of the Lay Magistrates, Mr. Robert Green and Mr. Carlton Knight, respectively, team members of the Custos' Office, fellow justices, viewers, all other well-wishers, a pleasant afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. I am elated yet humbled this afternoon to make representation on behalf of my fellow justices of the peace. We have finally made it. Yes, man. Today is the day when we are officially recognized as Justices of the Peace of Jamaica. Cheer again, man. A position that demands selfless services, a position that requires us to prioritize the pursuit of others for their betterment, even while sometimes making our own personal sacrifices, and of course, while abiding by the law. A demanding position, but I know we were well trained to assume our roles and will undoubtedly perform our duties efficiently with integrity and love. The process to get to this point was long, but it was worth it. Don't you agree? Yes, it was. I know I speak for many of my colleagues when I express how much I initially dreaded even the thought of the long hours of online training. When I learned that I would have to sit before the computer from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. for 3 long days, I said to myself, Papa Jesus, take the wheel. Honestly, I was anxious, and I thought the training would become overwhelming. But thanks be to God, we were placed in the capable hands of Judge Marjorie Mayston, who guided us ably who so ably guided us through the pertinent acts and documents to make us more au fait with the laws of the land and our roles and responsibilities when we are commissioned as justices. I personally enjoyed these sessions as I learned new things. May I add that my colleagues made it even more interesting by stimulating robust discussions and by asking intriguing questions that forced us to think. Judge Marston did not fail to illuminate concepts that needed to be clarified and ensure that she covered all the relevant contents that we needed to be exposed to, even if it meant going beyond 4. Judge Marston, on behalf of my fellow colleagues, I humbly say thank you. When I learned that we would be required to do group presentation in the form of role-playing, my mind started to gallop like horse on track. Role-play possible physically, but online? But my fellow colleagues came together and we did our thing. The animations, the cartoon, the props, man, I tell you, some of you need to be in Hollywood. Great efforts, colleagues. Now this demonstrates the different skill sets that comprises this group. You are great, my colleagues. Hats off to the team at the Justice Training Institute. I must acknowledge that the program was well organized. It was evident that the different types of learners were considered, as we saw where the visual, auditory, and tactile learners were catered for. We were given our materials prior to the training to get familiar with the content, and oh boy, that open book test, the test forced us to cite sections and subsections from various acts and pages from the manual. Now, if you never learn nothing in a class, and that would have only been possible if you weren't present, then the test forced you to get more intimate with pertinent information. Man, the Justice Training Institute team, big up on yourself. Custos Shaguri staff kept us abreast with various activities along the way. Thank you, Ms. Douglas and your team members for keeping us informed and updated. You made it easy for us to text or call as we sought clarity. Your customer service is enviable. Uno too, big up on yourself. My colleagues, as we leave here today, let us remember that a justice of the peace is a person of unquestionable integrity who seeks to promote and protect the rights of individuals and helps to give justice to those in particular community. As we serve, let us remember that we will become the voice for the voiceless. Let us remember that we have to be there for the most vulnerable. There is a famous quote that says, "You can't serve God without serving his people." Let us remember that we are humble servants of God and his people. When the tides get high and we become bewildered, let us never cease to pray and be guided by our Almighty. Let us not hesitate to consult our new friends, the manuals, the apps, as they will continue to play integral roles in making pertinent decisions. Colleagues, we have what it takes to do well. Don't you believe that? We were trained well. Let us go out there and serve excellently. Let us make our indelible impressions as servants as we aid our country in realizing Vision 2030 that is encapsulated in the statement, Jamaica, the place of choice to live, work, raise family, and do business. Colleagues, we have got this, don't you think? Thank you all for listening. Have a splendid rest of the afternoon, and may God continue to bless you all.
Group?
Group photo.
Oh. That wasn't she good? Yes. That's a good idea. Maybe my closing statement now. The importance of being vaccinated. Mr. LeBron, interim chairman of Clarendon JPs Association, along with Robert Burke Green. I know Robert from him was a little baby. JPs Clarendon, Sasha Gay, Ben Davis, and Althea Stewart. The Clarendon PDC Secretariat members for organizing the ceremony. And believe me, they had a lot of work to do, because I tell you, they have over 3,000, maybe 4,000 packages to pack, and not very easy. So they are looking for help for those people from Maple to come and help them. I want to thank Justice LP Lorraine Cousins for her assistance with the planning and implementation of the event. And I want to thank the media. Justices, my charge to the fellow justices of the peace is to go out in respective communities and serve with honor and respect for the law. Do not shy away from your duties. Do the best in helping to create a thriving parish with a healthy and creative population that live in safe and attractive communities. And just one final thing. Your police is very important. If you have some information and you don't want to tell any police, you have me to call. You can call me and let me know, and I will pass it on to who I know can be trusted, without calling anyone's name. So please, don't forget. Thank you all for participation. Stay safe and well. Now we want a group photograph of all, without us breaking the cameras here today. We want you all up here for a group photograph. I don't know how we're going to work it.
No, we're going to just put some chairs in front.
Eh?
Right.
Okay. So all of us line out, but remember, you know.
More people can see everyone. Where's Rowan? Rowan. You go for the photographer. You mean none of these are photographers? No, by the way. At a certain point, we're going to ask you for just 10 seconds to take out the mask. For 10 seconds, the pictures can stay, okay? One of Rowan, where's the photographer? No. Alright, well, Rowan, let him take one with the mask, and then for 15 seconds, people will then remove the mask. Tell us when you're ready, and then tell us when you're ready for the without the mask.